Hello YouTube and welcome to episode 9 of my Owarimonogatari reaction series, that being a smaller part of the larger Monogatari reaction series. Back here again today for a little bit more Monogatari, and only a smidge, because if I told you every piece of context around what's happening with me right now, it'd go on for a while. Let's just say that over the weekend, things got delayed, and I'm just trying to get things back on track. I know this has happened before, and I don't really know what good stopping points are still, really, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to just creep along, just one at a time, you know? On top of all of that as well, I worked overnight last night, so this is like mid-afternoon, and I just kind of got up, so that was fun. So if I seem a little bit more drowsy than normal, that's probably why. Got the YouTube comments up here, only a few here today as well, which means we can get into that episode quick smart. First comment here by Nailu, just kind of praising me. I like praise, praise is good. Specifically for this arc, it stands out why the timeline's important. And we're really going back to a certain point. I think somebody may talk about it later as well, in that Owarimonogatari is technically meant to be in before this as well, so it's even further later than it should be. So we're just kind of backfilling something that was there. Then I knew there was events that happened, but now we're actually going to see said events. There's a gap in our knowledge, right? And for some reason we don't want to tell it, and Augie wants us to tell it, which is pretty standard at this point. But yeah, kind of that gap between, like, okay, Araragi finishes the stuff in Owarimonogatari with Hachikuji, and then the next time we see him, he's saving Hanakawa at the end of Nekoshiro. So there's got to be something in between there, and that's kind of what we're getting at here. And yeah, apparently other reactors don't pick up on this as quickly, which, I mean, that's the benefit to the way I do it. The benefit to this, I know it isn't scaled right, but you know what I mean, right? So yeah, again, I would recommend this timeline method to basically anybody that attempts to do this. So if you find some other sucker who's reacting to Monogatari, definitely tell them to do this. I think it's beneficial. Next comment here by Gian Bueno. Once again, we go back in time, kind of. So yeah, we're filling that final blank space, having watched Tsubasa Tiger, Mayui Jianshi, and Shinobu Time. All of these arcs kind of adding to this August period. Nisio Sin originally planned to tell this story during Shinobu Time, that kind of arc. It would actually fit a lot with the content of Shinobu Time, now that I'm thinking about it. But it apparently was just too much to put into one book and put all together, so he separated it out. I would imagine the novel is also late, if that makes any sense, right? So he, when writing the source material, he's left this gap and always intended to go back and fill it, but then only found a reason to later on. Something to that effect, probably. This is a cute little detail as well. The armor kind of knocking on the door, to which Kambaru promptly replies, "Come in," and then the whole vampire thing where you need to be invited inside. So yeah, he's a vampire. He's a very important vampire to the history of the show, if that makes any sense, right? Alexander Henriquez, next comment here. Always love that Araragi Kambaru duo. If I can highlight properly. Yeah, there we go. Araragi Kambaru duo. It's been good since its first appearance in the show, since its inception. I mean, this has always been like a kind of subtext thing with the show as well. Kind of Koyomi meaning calendar. So when he wants to play with things out of order, the character's name is calendar. Like, there's something there, right? He clearly intended to tell the story this way for a reason. So I'm still unsure regarding, what is it? Shinobu Mail. I would imagine it's talking about the armor, like I theorized last week. But there's a funny little Easter egg, maybe you could call it. So in Tsubasa Cat, when Shinobu runs away, there's a montage of all the girls looking for her as of Araragi's request. Hachikuji shown opening a mailbox and peering inside, like she's looking for Shinobu there. So that could be a little nod to the Shinobu Mail name, which is kind of interesting, right? I mean, even if the book wasn't written yet, I'm sure he had some ideas, right? So I don't know. It may be a coincidence. I could still see it as a future reference. Oh, Simon talks about this. I remember he talks about the Owarimonogatari in between, right? Finally, a funny scene in a month. Yeah, there's been a lot of levity in the show up until last episode, right? It was pretty heavy, so that's why, again, it's paced pretty well, right? We veer off from the really heavy stuff at the right point in time to keep it from getting a little bit too stale. Imagine the characters meeting somewhere else, or Tsubasa not kind of sleeping there, or Ononoki not coming to help, or there's a fair bit of coincidences that could have gone really poorly for these two, right? Uh, I hope Guyan is aware of what she's doing. And this is interesting too. This may be even like further stuff. So Araragi kind of took that knee to the face by Kambaro. And Kambaro said, "It's okay, you're immortal, right? You don't feel that pain." I remember when we fought in that classroom in the dark and it was epic. So then Araragi wants to say that right now I'm not so immortal, right? But then looks at Kambaro's arm and decides not to. So the kind of devil arm, there may still be some lingering stuff there regarding her jealousy. Jealousy. The devil arm, it could take control and kill Araragi, knowing that he's in a weakened state right now. So there's something to that. I'm not sure Kambaru would literally do that. You know what I mean? But like. He still is hesitant there, and that's interesting for this point in the timeline. Dharma Mancia next comment here, after witnessing the 3 kind of Soldachi arcs, this one feels kind of weak in comparison. For me, right now, I'm reserving judgment. I can see what you mean, but I think this is needed regardless. We can't just continue on that trajectory, right? There needs to be some balancing out, you know? So the beginning and middle portions of this arc, not particularly strong in their opinion, just like Hana and Suki, or Ski. I mean, I liked both of these arcs, so... I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens today. We'll see if it's interesting. Last comment here today by MC Steve. There's a weird part where there's like a text on screen, Monogatari things. Let me get the text up for myself here. Yeah, because you say stuff like that, the story you narrated was on the back burner. I don't understand what this means. Kind of immediately after, Kambaro makes a little bit of a tasteless joke as the fire's kind of encroaching in. One way you can interpret that is perhaps kind of Hanamonogatari, the book, did poorly, joking that Kambaro is vulgar, though this doesn't really match up to reality. The other, which this translation is getting at, is with the context that the Hanamonogatari anime was delayed when Owari 2, Owari is 3 books, came out. It is right after second season anime released and before Hanamonogatari did. So Araragi is joking that because Kambaro is so vulgar, her leading role for the anime was skipped over. I see. Okay, so it's like very immediate context regarding a delay that's happening as a book's coming out that we need to then adapt, which is strange. But yeah, I definitely believe this kind of second interpretation. I think this is the better interpretation for mine. And now just a short recap of what we found out last week. Episode 8 starts with some small introductory stuff around when this arc takes place and the story we're telling and why we want to tell it and if we want to tell it and Augie pushing us to tell it. And yeah, Araragi is hesitant, as he is always, pretty much. Araragi has invited Kambaro to this cram school and kind of is the intermediary between Gai Nezuko's little schemes, as seen in the end of Owarimonogatari, kind of that deal that they brokered, I guess, with the Hachikuji thing. There is then hijinks. I found it endearing. This meeting is interrupted by a cursed set of armor that initially poses no threat. However, it comes back later with some new skills and kind of incapacitates Kambaro before going for Araragi. This is when the armor is interrupted by a fire starting. So there's a number of things here. The fire starting is obviously the Hanakawa Tiger Fire from that whole business. And kind of the coming back with the new skills is like a vampire drain, energy drain type thing, where we're like kind of stealing various skills from the people we're fighting. So getting stronger over time potentially. Probably don't want this kind of character to fight somebody really strong. That would be bad. So yeah, kind of steals Kambaro's fighting skills before stealing Araragi's voice as well, which I failed to mention here. The armor then makes its escape. Things look bad for our heroes, but they're eventually saved by Yotsugi, presumably still working for Gai Nezuko, meaning we have a pretty easy jumping off point for this arc, or the next episode in this arc, I should say, which is that conversation with Gai Nezuko, which may be a little bit more meat on the bone than last episode you would think. Still a lot to find out about Gai Nezuko. I don't see any reason to stand on ceremony. I guess my strongest prediction is that Gai Nezuko will be involved, and that the armor is pretty obviously the servant from Shinobu's past. come back to life somehow and is following Shinobu. Yeah. And it makes a whole lot more sense why that arc back then would be called Shinobu Time as well, because it's actually about Shinobu. Either way, shill stuff. Oh, I should say before my shill stuff is that there will be a poll out this week for a Revue Starlight replacement thingo. So get your spot in Discord ready and waiting to vote in that poll if you care about what I watch on the channel, which I'm guessing you guys probably would. No idea what's going to be in the poll yet, so I don't know. There'll be some interesting stuff for sure. Where was I? Oh yeah, like the video, like the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, jumping into episode 9. I think it's episode 9. Episode 9 of Owarimonogatari right now. Radioka, episode 9 of Owarimonogatari up here, ready to go. 24 minutes and 12 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. As always, there will be a picture-in-picture version provided below, and using the Call Girls subs. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1. Go. Oh. Okay. Burn down cram school. It's true. Burn down very quickly. Almost supernaturally so. It would be kind of emotional for him, yeah? Not the small girl. Nah, I didn't light the fire. It was something else. Kamaru my cute underclassmen. Yeah, good thing she's, like, unconscious. Yes, I know this. Really? Really? I don't believe you. What is your work? Oh, for Guyan? That was great. Yeah? Gargantuan fortune. Don't you know? I've got to take this girl and we're going to go see Guy Nezuko. You were there. I remember you were there. What do you mean, what's going on? Or do you mean with the armor? Okay. The armor would make more sense, yes. These openings are fucking lit. I love the choir. Again, like in German, right? Yep. Still sick. The coloring here is interesting too. Yeah. Good old armor. Interesting shot. Well, I mean, it would be pretty shocking. Kissu shot. Yeah. He's probably got some relation to the story that I've heard. Huh? Oh. Okay. Huh. Magnitude's more violent. Huh. Let me off here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Save Hachikuji. Excuse me? I think it's just delaying, right? Let's put it to bed for like tonight. You want to touch his pecs? We know. Hmm. I would. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. I'll talk about that later. I forget that she said the arm was important. Hmm. Indeed. But you didn't. The weird part about Guyan is that she already kind of knows as well. That's mean. Tomodachi. Well, yeah. Doesn't protect her. Huh. She most certainly did. Oh, that aberration. Yes. So she's tied in. Caesar Hayek. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me? Feet? This is doing it for somebody. Well, can you get your feet off my face? Then maybe I'll think about it. Well, it is. It's never too late for something. I agree. I agree with this. Not with what that is, but with the dialogue. Zero. Zero left. That's interesting with all the Augie stuff. The footprint. Irresponsibly send her home. Yeah, but aren't you. Don't you kind of work for Guy Izuku? Have her protect. Okay, that's a good reason. Like, have her protect her from the armor. Yes. Yeah, you're already here. The spinning. Okay, can't go home until this is resolved. Okay. Going on a fool's errands is my specialty. It was, yeah, the foot stuff. Foot stuff. Wouldn't she already know? Yeah, Hanakawa's coming with Shinobu at some point in time. The face. All right. Interesting scene. There's a lot of stuff in the dialogue there that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, we made it out. It's okay. What do you think? I'm piggybacking you. Leg lock? I don't think you should trust your instincts. Okay. Thanks, Kambaro. The music's nice too. Huh. Yeah? Interesting. Yeah, we are. Mm-hmm. Nothing bad will happen. Okay. Whatever you say. Yeah, okay. Funny. What with. Yeah, question mark. I'm question marking that. Okay. Oh, I know that park, right? Yeah. More credence to the theory that like Monogatari takes place over like 5 different locations. Whoa! Are we lost again? No, not on the way to the park, bro. Not on the way home. Oh, look at this Mayui snail shit. Yes, it's reminding me of it a lot. Yeah, I remember. Well, yeah. Huh. I was gonna say something about that line too last week. I don't know. I feel like I've seen this like background shot like a million times. Not the stretching. I'm lost. Please help. Send help. Can she not hear? No, it was the snail. You got it. You got it early on. Well, we know that. Yes. Yeah. I'm guessing Kambara can't hear this. Okay. We're gonna say that for my own sanity. You'd be correct. Huh. Yeah, but I mean, you also just know. Why does she sound so evil? Oh, the rainbows. Not the rainbows. It's always the rainbows with Gai Nezuko. Okay. You're hardly even in danger. Well, yeah. So figure out how you did it last time. To rely on. Her intellect. She's not very intellectual. What was his pose? That's very impressive. No, I need your opinion, actually. Yeah. According to Gai Nezuko, I do. Yeah. What? I mean, it's a good idea, but sure. Kind of like a monkey. Yeah, it is. Oh, of where she used to be. Alright. Don't run too far. Okay. We did it. We made it to the park. Yeah, but this isn't no normal human being. I don't think she got murked by the armor or something. I think she's going to be okay. No, not that. It's not that big of a park, is it? She loves this joke this arc, doesn't she? She's full of beans for 3 a.m. I wish I was like that last night. Oh, that was very quick. Uh, do you want to just play on the swings? Oh, we need you. Hello, Shinobu. Just sleeping in the park. Kambara thinks so as well. But why are you here? Been in a little bit of a tussle. Yes. Oh, because you're fighting her like combat style? No, not like that. Yeah, she's worse than you. Huh. Oh. Wait, you did something with the cat? You did something with Hanakawa? Am I forgetting something? Yeah, kinda. No, there's another one. It happened quite recently. She got him. Caught in 4K. Still? Yeah, it was Yotsugi. Skin you out of spite. Yeah, you've got a lot of interesting things to say, Shinobu. In our terrible battle. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't think the armor's an armor anymore. I think it might be a monkey. Unless there's two. That'd be bad. Okay, Guy Nezuko can help. Yeah, but we're lost. It's almost like a greatest hits. We're just playing like all the arcs, kinda like all the aberrations. Uh, okay. Hello, hello, Armor Man. Not Armor Man? Who was that? What the hell was I looking at? Okay. Yeah, it seems like so. Before this point, all the Sodachi arcs, not a lot of aberrations. It seems like we've got the memo, and it's just every aberration now. Like everyone's just all around. So, hmm, it's interesting, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that stuff that Shinobu just said with Hanakawa and the and fighting the monkey, um, all of that was not known previous to now, right? And it wasn't Hanakawa; it was Black Hanakawa, so Hanakawa would have no memory of it, or like no memory. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm thinking potentially that the armor's shape-shifting into different things. You'd think that Kambaro punching the dude with the energy drain would let him change into the aberration, right? That would make sense to me. Or it's just like multiple aberrations running around. It's one shape-shifting or there's multiple. I'd prefer one shape-shifting, I think. And yeah, moving on with a little bit of analysis on that episode. So there was a number of intriguing things that episode, I thought. Just little elements of dialogue that made me go, huh? What did you mean by that? And that's interesting. I don't really know if I'm stupid yet or if I'm super smart. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I've got some stuff to talk about for sure, which is nice. In an episode that is pretty much just three separate conversations, one between Araragi Yotsugi, then Kambaro, then Shinobu. So we'll make our way through that one quick, smart. But first, let's do a little bit of a recap, see what I found. Episode 9 begins with a conversation between Yotsugi and Araragi regarding the fire and the armor. With Yotsugi revealing that she had been kind of working on chasing whatever the armor was before this point. So, kind of alludes to, hey, I was chasing this thing. What has happened in the last few days? It wasn't even an armor at that point. So, it's continuing to change and metamorphize, is probably what we're getting at there. Araragi then tried to get Kambaro out of tonight's events, but is kind of guilted. Is that even how you write that? Guilted? Sure. He's guilted into Yotsugi, as well as saying that the aberration has already left their mark on Kambaro as well. So, hey, I like Kambaro. I want to protect Kambaro. I want to just send her home tonight. It's clearly dangerous what we're doing. I may be kind of delaying giving Guy Nezuko what she wants, but I'm going to prioritize her safety above this. There's a part with like a foot on a face that was weird. But essentially, Yotsugi's like, don't chicken out of this. You can't chicken out of this. And even if you do chicken out of this, the aberration itself may just go after Kambaru anyway, and you'll leave her all alone. So whatever it is, we need to solve it by tonight. But then, based on my timeline, I don't think we solve it by tonight anyway. Question mark? Unsure about that. Either way, the next scene is we kind of exit away from Yotsugi. We have Araragi carrying Kambaro to where they need to go, which is Nomashiro Park, because there's only like 5 locations in the entire Monogatari universe. So we need to go back to this park from Mayui Snail. But it's also relevant that it's from Mayui Snail because we get lost in a similar way to how we did in Mayui Snail. I think we're tracing this back to a line from the armor which says you will go home like straight away without any detours. So, because you're detouring, you're going to get lost, similar to the snail. So, does that imply that potentially somewhere along the line that a snail has been absorbed into whatever the hell we have going on as well? Question mark. Wouldn't it absorb the snail from Araragi? Because technically, am I stupid? Araragi like had the snail, if that makes any sense, right? Like Hachikuji herself is the aberration. It is affecting Araragi. So kind of the dude, the armor touching Araragi and kind of stealing his voice, is it technically stealing some of those snail-like aberration-y powers in that process? Question mark. There's complete and utter speculation, but I'm just trying to figure out how the kind of power system works here. Either way, Araragi gets out the old cell phone, talks to Guy Nezuko, who is characteristically unhelpful and vague and a little bit weird. Clearly that she was like at the park already just waiting for them and then isn't there when they finally show up. She essentially says to rely on Kambaro for help. Kambaro figures out a really weird way of getting to the park whilst avoiding, I think, like touching the road? Question mark. Again, I probably need to rewatch that part. So then we get to the park. We're like, let's split up. Kambaro goes and immediately finds Shinobu, who's just kind of sleeping under the swing set. Shinobu then says that, hey, like I've been waiting for you. Guy Nezuko or somebody told me that you were going to be here soon. There was a fight in which, like, me, Black Hanakawa, and Yotsugi all fought some dude that looked like Kambaru's monkey? Question mark? She also notes that Guyan has the ability to kind of relink the two before this conversation is interrupted by some kind of aberration who looks even more fucked up than kind of the armor and the monkey. Question mark. Is it just the monkey? I don't know. Had one really big hand. The question would be, has this thing touched Shinobu? Has it touched Black Hanakawa? Has it touched Yotsugi? Is it going to be all powerful now? Is the question there? Even if it is the same aberration, I do not know. So yeah, there's a lot of question marks there. I'm still unsure of what direction we're really going with this. Again, Araragi in the lead-in said that this is like a terrible thing that he never wants to tell anybody. So I'm imagining it goes pretty poorly. I'll get the episode up here and we'll have a relook on the dialogue and I'll tell you all sorts of stuff that I maybe missed. So we begin here with probably an underrated emotional moment for Araragi. This is him seeing the cram school that has been formative in most of the experiences in the show for him, burned down to the ground. This is the first time that he saw it happen. So, I mean, he's taken aback by it. I would be too. I'm thinking back to stuff like Kizumonogatari, where he was kind of almost imprisoned here. So that, yeah, definitely feels some type of way about this. So Yotsugi's initial theory is kind of funny. So she thinks that Araragi is depressed and kind of kidnapped a girl and took her to the cram school and was going to like self-immolate, suicide the both of them after going into kind of a depressive episode regarding Hachikuji. Which is definitely, I could see why she would think that, but no, there's a ton more going on. But I think she's also kind of being funny. She knows why Araragi is here, and she knows who that is over there, being Kambaru, being Gai Nezuko's niece. Just kind of joking. Yotsugi can joke. And she claims that she wasn't like out here to save him, which I thought may have been the case. Like Guyan pointed her in this direction. No, she was just out doing her work and saw this happen. So that's a bit mad. Yeah, Yotsugi's deadpan's really good, especially on this line read. Just continues to be a highlight of her scenes, I guess. Like just saying ridiculous shit in the most basic deadpan. It's quite good. So the lead-in before the opening is that Yotsugi needs to know what the hell's going on, whatever that may mean. And during the time of the opening, we kind of catch her up on a few things whilst leaving a few pieces of information to the side. We don't need to tell her everything. So I told her all about the armor outside of a few final words that the armor said. Kiss Shot. It knows of Kiss Shot. It is looking for Kiss Shot. That name that I don't even use anymore, but it definitely refers to the same old person. Yeah, Yotsugi gives a weird answer here. So Araragi's like, hey Yotsugi, does this kind of thing track with your work? Yes, it falls under the line of my work, but it almost seems like an entirely different being than the one I was just dealing with. So, is it the same being that's just transforming over and over again? Or is it something else? Is there multiple beings? But here she implies it's the same thing, right? It wasn't even a piece of armor or a suit of armor when I was chasing it. It's become way more violent over the last few days. What has happened? Then we get an interesting part. So Araragi's like, can we be let off here? Can we time out, call it a night? I think Araragi wants to delay this meeting with Gai Nezuko or outright cancel it. Let Kambaru go home to her room, kind of protecting her. Like, Araragi's fine enough to go through with whatever plan we need to go through with, but I don't understand why Kambaru needs to be involved like this. And this is the reaction he gets from Yotsugi, kind of like a real solid stare, like a real stunned like silence. Like, are you serious? No, you can't do that. Again, I keep going back to in Owarimonogatari, there's some weird stuff between Yotsugi and Gai Nezuko, for sure. For sure. And I think that's extrapolated upon in Tsukimonogatari as well. Yeah, so this is like Yotsugi essentially calling him out for trying to cheat Gai Nezuko out of information. You got the information you wanted regarding the Hachikuji situation. You're not going to repay your end of the bargain? That's bad. Do not do that. Yeah, then we get into a weird part where she's like, I find you trying to defy Gai Nezuko attractive, and then talking about his muscles, which has came up a number of... She's into his muscles for sure. I don't know about that. I like the justification though, like, I'm a corpse showing interest in living flesh as normal. So again, Araragi's justification is that, hey, I want to be protective of Kambaru. Like, I know shit's gone down tonight. She's had a big night already. She's already over here, like, unconscious. Guy Nezuko said that she's going to do some kind of work, some work in a similar line to the work that we do. I don't want her doing that tonight, so I'm going to send her to bed. And this is interesting too. So Guyan said that this left hand, this left arm was important. Now I'm trying to remember back to Hana Monogatari, but there was something regarding the devil parts, right? At the end. Somebody acquired them. Was it like a kaiki or something? They're definitely in somebody's hands. If somebody could remind me of who has those devil parts, that would be great. There was some insidious implication between, I believe it was Kaiki or Orgi or something, right, with the devil parts. So Guy Nezuko clearly interested in Kambaru because of the family connection, but maybe more because of whatever this devil part is. I kind of like the muted colors in this scene too, like a real like grayscale black and white thing going on that I find enjoyable. It's definitely like nighttime vibes, you know. And I'll talk about some similar shots to shots that have been seen through other episodes, which may actually be a technique. Okay. So a lot of this arc is harkening back to previous stuff that's happened in the show. Like all the aberrations are showing up. A lot of the characters are just out here doing their shit. And so the reuse of shots there and kind of bringing some stuff full circle makes a lot of sense. I see. Yotsugi brings up some good points here. I don't know if she explicitly goes into it now, but she's like, so I don't think you really understand what's going on here. You don't understand that letting her go home doesn't essentially protect her right now. Aberrations affect you the minute you see them. From the moment you meet them, you are cursed. Didn't this girl touch the aberration? No, she did more than touch it. She punched it. So she's involved now. Whether she likes it or not, she has been drained by whatever this thing is. She's involved. So it may be kind of associated with her. So if we send her home to bed, it may just attack her in her sleep or something. So that's definitely no good. We don't want that. And of course, there's that kind of Monogatari kind of assertion to it all, right? An inciting incident has happened to you. You are now part of the story itself, right? You can't just exit the story. The story doesn't allow that. Always looking at that kind of fourth wall meta aspect to it. This is pretty funny when Yatsugi's like, I need you to Caesar now. I need you to do it. Yeah, for foot to face, I probably won't show much foot to face on screen, but just know that a lot of foot to face occurs. And for the people that really enjoy foot to face, this is going to be great. I'm not a foot to face enjoyer, so not really my thing. But go off, I guess. It's one of them, you know. I don't think we can go back to normal. Think of what happened with Hachikuji. You lack resolve. You think you can always have a fresh start in life. Now, this is interesting placement because, like, a fresh start in life and always being more, always being that next chance, always being the room to improve and do better is a central tenet to Monogatari. But it's also a central idea behind, am I stupid? Sodachi Lost? We're going to say Sodachi Lost. The previous arc I saw. It's essentially what we say to Oyakura when she's kind of spiraling in a kind of depressive episode that you overestimate happiness. There's always room for extra happiness in your life, or happiness to return to your life at some point in time. So that's why you don't give up. Interesting that you're saying the opposite. That life always balances out to zero in the end. Well, that's kind of like an Euler's identity thing as well. That's kind of that Orgy area. Always balances out to zero. There's always an even account. It isn't always like a scale that goes up like this continuously. It's not, you know, that kind of angle. If it goes up, it must come down. It always returns to some kind of happy medium. Interesting. Why are you saying this? I guess everybody returns to zero in the end of life, right? In some kind of way. But I mean, that's a very sad way to look at life as well. This is another good justification, right? Like, we know Ga Nezuko is powerful. She would be able to know what to do and protect her from whatever this aberration is. From what I said before, you need to take Kambaru to Ga Nezuko. You can't just back out of this. You can't take that philosophy with this particular situation. I didn't seek the freedom to ruin my entire life by breaking a promise I made to Guyan. Even without that, I want to keep my promise. I should keep it. Interesting. I do like the footprint on the face, though. That's a cute detail. Yeah, this is framed like Araragi kind of manning up and like taking on the armor's promise to kind of talk to her master or his master or that kind of thing, right? If the armor is what I really think it is, then I need to be involved in this as well. Yeah, I can't go home until this is resolved. I'm thinking that you resolve this when we see you again, when Hanakawa is doing Hanakawa stuff at the end of Nekoshira. Okay, so Yotsugi here says that now I'm going to pursue the armored aberration you said you saw. And then we see Yotsugi helping Shinobu and Black Hanakawa a little bit later on. So I'm guessing it is just one aberration that is transforming, for sure. Going on a fool's errand is my specialty as well? Yeah, kinda. Okay, sure. And then, yeah, Yotsugi's like, hey, you should take Kanbaru and go see Gai Nezuko. And that's kind of what we do in the next scene. I do like her, like, squishy face, though. I find that kind of nice. Then we play out quite a nice scene between Araragi and Kanbaru, when Kanbaru is not being really sexual. It's actually quite nice. It's a very relaxing kind of walk in the night, all alone, the two of them type scene, which I enjoy. I think the best part about Kanbaru's presence in the show is the VA performance. Such a strident confidence to all the line reads that I really enjoy. Just yeah, and it helps sell the comedy as well. That she's so like sure of everything that she's saying. And then of course we kind of juxtapose that when we actually see her point of view and see that she's quite troubled. Yeah, I like that a lot. Kanbaru here says that she doesn't feel well. It makes me remember the North Shirahebi Shrine. And then we get some flashes of Nadeko Snake. Makes me think about the shrine. I don't understand that. That's very interesting. Why? Why does it make you think that? Araragi uses this opportunity to kind of what's the word? Apologize to Kanbaru for getting her into this mess. Because of what I did, it might be dangerous to send you home now. So now you're in for the long haul, the long stretch. Sorry, essentially. Like, I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, Kanbaru doesn't seem to mind if the ribbon around her body is in any indicator. Yeah, and now we get into the interesting stuff. I don't know if you've noticed a number of the shots in the background have been very similar to the shots that we saw in Mayoi Snail. Just kind of these kind of streets, this kind of area of town, getting lost here. So Kanbaru's like, hey, so where are we meeting? Oh, we're meeting at Namashiro Park. Oh, okay, so why are you going in the wrong direction? And then, oh shit, there's some Mayuri Snail stuff afoot. I love this shot when we learn about it too, like the scale of everything. So we're lost in this like endless labyrinth of houses. We're going the completely wrong direction. The lighting change here is notable too. We get way more color. This almost reminds me of the night scenes during Suruga Monkey as well. Kind of when the bike goes flying and that whole bit reminds me of that kind of color scheme. And then this shot here is super familiar. I know there's a shot later that is straight up a shot from the intro, from like the intro to the entire show, from Bakemonogatari, that I'll point out. But yeah, like a lot of this, again, it's kind of the point of what we have going on. It's bringing a lot of the concepts of the entire show up to this point, a lot of the aberration-y concepts full circle. We're bringing back everybody. We're reviewing, that kind of vibe. For the second time this episode, we see some flashes to some not so glamorous shots of Mayoi Snail. Again, the show's come a long way visually, I'll say that. But yeah, like, it's this vibe. I'm definitely getting this from this episode. Like Monogatari's greatest hits. So we're justifying this kind of lost snail type situation, lost cow. I forget how that all worked. By this guy saying this line, you will go home, or you will now go home without detours. Because they're not doing that, they're getting lost. So Araragi's worried, if this guy is that powerful enough to do this, why is he wanted to do this? Is he isolating us? Is he going to attack us pretty soon? Yeah, and then we get a lot of Kanbaru jumping around and doing stretches and stuff. There was a cute part where it's like, I need to drop you off the back. Is it because I'm fat? No. You're actually quite thin. So now we call Mummy, and Mummy's going to tell us a few things because Mummy knows everything. So Guyan immediately is like, so what's your problem? Is it crab, snail, monkey, snake, cat? I think she has some kind of indicator about what's going on tonight, as Guy Nezuko is wont to do, knowing everything. It's a very piercing tone to the laugh too. It's again bad vibes of Guy Nezuko. I've said it for a long time, but like really bad vibes of her. What do you know? What do you know that you're not telling me? So she's clearly already at the park right now, right? Waiting for them. She says, "Hurry up and get over here." We also see rainbows. I'll get my little pen out. We always see rainbows in the sky with Guy Nezuko. It's like one of her things. Rainbow, again, every color. We also associated colors with each of the aberrations that when we were on the phone kind of background changed color when she said each of those aberrations. So I'm trying to grasp this rainbow metaphor and what it means. I am everything. I am a mix of everything, you know? So Aragi's like, okay, I want to go meet with you, but how? And she's like, just figure it out. This isn't the first time you've been lost. Why not rely on Kambaru? Let us heed Meme's philosophy and save ourselves alone, instead of relying on me to save you. But however, you're not alone. Again, rely on your underclassmen there. Aragi's initially flippant about this, but then Guy Nezuko retorts with, I know that she's my sister's daughter, right? So there must be something there. Don't let her intellect go to waste. And just like that, ignoring the pose on screen, Guy Nezuko hangs up. So then this is weird, right? So Kambaru, do you have any ideas? She like scans the area like an animal before like crawling up this telephone pole and like using the height to locate an area, right? To like, hey, it's over there, we should go in that direction. Relying on her sense of smell for where Senshugahara used to live to get them there. And then the other thing we're doing is we're like walking on, like not on the road. It's also this shot here. It's definitely like this kind of intersection. I'll put the reference image up over here somewhere. I've seen it early in the show for sure. So around 3 in the morning, we finally make our way to the park. Yeah, which is a very familiar location to us. Barely 3 hours have passed since our phone call, but there's no Guy Nezuko to be found. So what gives? If a normal person was forced to wait 3 hours to meet with somebody, they would go home, it's true. But Guy Nezuko isn't a normal person, so what gives? So then it becomes, hey, let's split up and search the park. Potentially Guy Nezuko has been fighting with some kind of aberration in our absence. Like, I've been skipping over a lot of them, but I reckon Kambaru's had like 5 or 6 different, like, weirdly sexual jokes that are pretty good. She's very snappy with them. Their banter's always quite nice. But, yeah, it's essentially like the same joke 3 times in that scene I just skipped past, where it's like she misinterprets something Aragi says as some kind of sexual advance. She did it a lot last episode as well. It's less of a criticism and more of just like an observation. So, instead of Guy Nezuko, we find a sleeping Shinobu, which is interesting. She has a lot of stuff to tell us. So interestingly enough, they kind of underplay the dramatic reunification like after the events of Owarimonogatari, through the middle there, after they kind of jump away to the mountains, Shinobu's kind of left all on her own. This is the first time they see each other in like a day, and they're like, "Oh, hey, it's you," which is I found it understated. Kambaru here being like a huge weirdo, but Araragi's being like a medium weirdo as well, so I mean, they're both just lolicons. So Shinobu, why are you here? Notices a bunch of scratches on her body. So she looks over at Kambaru and says, the monkey. And it put up a good fight. So it's not that Kambaru monkey over there, it's a different one, right? But Kambaru obviously plays on with it because that's what she does this arc apparently. Yeah, we clarify here. I didn't mean her when I spoke of the monkey. It was wearing a raincoat and rubber boots, but it wasn't her. I'm speaking of an aberration I fought earlier, together with the cat. So, again, I'll need to go back here. I think this is probably as good an opportunity as any to pop back over to Neko Shiro for a second. wow, let's see what actually happened here. Because I remember this just skipping ahead to whatever the next thing was. Yeah, look at that. We see the cram school has burnt down, and then that's definitely just like the end of the episode, right? We have the next time on after that. Oh, and then we start like the next episode with this gag about the chapters, right? Where we skip a bunch of chapters. And Hanakawa waking up the next day in Araragi's bed. Oh yeah, before figuring out some stuff about the cat must have been on the loose because I missed so many chapters, and then there's the conversation with Araragi's mum. That's kind of mental. Then we talk to Guy Nezuko. Yo, this shit's crazy. Or first episode. Yo, this show's cool. When do I watch this again? No, but like, okay, so there's definitely stuff missing there that I didn't know about. Where kind of Black Hanakawa continues to fight after we, pan away from when they just see the cram school burning down. There's stuff missing there. There's a huge chunk of stuff missing there. Yeah, but Araragi is pretty understandably concerned. He's like, so wait, now the cat's involved too? Right? Why are you fighting? What? These are all just scratches, nothing bad. Have you been okay, Araragi? Again, it's just like it's really low key. It's kind of cool. Okay, so yeah, Shinobu must have spoken with Guy Nezuko here somewhere as well, because she knows all about the darkness that was kind of haunting them from Owarimonogatari, and that it wasn't actually after you, that you've been mistaken for 400 years. Well, it wasn't not after you. It was more. It was after. What was it? It's so hard to remember stuff. But it wasn't specifically, it was aberrations not acting like aberrations, right? Oh, no, actually, you got the rundown from Yotsugi. So you got that rundown from Yotsugi after Yotsugi helped you defeat the monkey. There's a funny bit here where Araragi tries to play dumb about like the footprint on his face from the previous scene in the episode. And interestingly enough, like Kambaro has seen this footmark on his face the entire time and just kind of went with it, didn't really question it. Normally I would skin you out of spite for such a remark, but we were unwillingly saved by the doll. So yeah, Yotsugi assisted and used her little unlimited rulebook to kind of flick the monkey away. I saw it blast away the right side of its body. Araragi here's like, well, if she knows about the darkness, potentially Yotsugi would tell her about the armor, but she seemingly doesn't know about that yet. And Yotsugi must have told, here we go. So Yotsugi must have told Shinobu that the link between them can be restored by Guy Nezuko. We also see Kambaro in the back just being an absolute pervert. Interesting. Okay, cool. So that's how we got the information. So that's how you know what you know. So yeah, then Shinobu's like, I'm going to wait here for you guys. I'm going to sleep under this swing set for a while. But apparently there's more pressing things happening. It appears our battle is not quite over yet. Our battle has only yet begun. Do we get a good look at you? Not really? Okay, so you're clearly like the monkey. But you've got like some other shit going. It's like a big old fucking lobster claw. What the hell? Hitagi crab? The fuck's going on? You've got like weird spider legs on your back or something. You've only got one boot left because that side of your body got blasted away, right? And we don't really get a good look. Like there's something about your shadow as well. Yeah. No, not really. I thought the shadow looked kind of like the armor, but it doesn't really. This arm here is interesting as well. Like I'm guessing, okay, so I'm guessing the vibe is this aberration, whatever it is like a combination of everything that has come to us already and serves as kind of like a check for Araragi, like a check for his fighting prowess, but also a check for everything he's done up to this point emotionally, right? Was he right in thinking this? Is this where we get a little bit like, does he come to a wrong conclusion here or something? Does he need to be saved by somebody else? I don't know. This is all like rampant speculation. It could be completely wrong. But I feel like that's kind of the vibe of this arc, like kind of a compilation of stuff. Almost like a recap episode, kind of, right? Where it's like, this reminds me of this reminds, like a greatest hits album. I've said it a number of times, like that kind of thing. From here, I'm unsure where we go. I know Guy Nezuko needs to have a conversation with Kambaro at some point. That's going to be interesting, but I don't know if we'll be privy to it. Yeah, I don't really know. This episode was very intriguing and quite entertaining too, to boot. But yeah, I really don't know what direction we're going this arc like at all, and that's pretty exciting. So yeah, we'll continue this again next week. Sorry about only the one again. I don't know. I really don't know. And I like being stumped by Monogatari. It happens a lot. I would like to think that a lot of what I've said timeline-wise has made sense. Just unsure thematically. Unsure. But yeah, good. I enjoy. I always enjoy. Chill stuff. If you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, get in for that poll, do all that kind of stuff. Love that Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next week for however many episodes of Monogatari. You'd think 2, right? You'd think. Whatever wraps up the arc, if it's soon or if it's not soon, I just don't know. I don't know. Either way, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.